keeping it simple, keeping it consistent, keeping it, I guess, common sense design is what I really focus on, because I believe that, every complex problem can be broken down into a set of simple solutions.
From Aderant, this is Studio A, the podcast that helps legal professionals like you stay on top of trends and solutions that keep your law firm thriving. Welcome to Studio A, powered by Aderant, your legal tech podcast for the latest insightful conversations shaping legal tech. Today's episode, I have a very special guest. He is a veteran in the legal tech industry, but I'm going to just go down his resume a little bit before he introduces himself. He spent time at IBM, he spent time at NCR, and now he's leading innovation at Aderant. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Hi, my name's Mike McKay. As you mentioned, I'm a veteran in the tech world and also in the legal tech world as well. Like you mentioned, I spent about a quarter of a century at IBM, spent a good 3 years at NCR, and I started at Aderant back in July. Some of my specialties are how do we actually build and deliver software at scale. I think it's one of the reasons I was brought in because we're modernizing Aderant, modernizing our software, modernizing our culture, processes. And that's one of the things I excel at is like, how do we actually build modern software?
Now, I was very excited when I learned that Mr. Mike McKay was going to be on this show because we're gonna nerd out a little bit. Now, when you started at Aderant, I learned that you own some patents as well. So I love innovation. Our audience does as well. And you don't necessarily need to go through everything, but just tell us a little bit more about some of the patents that you hold.
They kind of span the whole spectrum. I mean, anywhere from just like usability enhancements to software to like hardcore, how do we get virtual machines up and running quickly? One of my favorite ones is actually my very first one, which is interesting because I'm going to date myself a bit here, but I'd started IBM back in 1997, and we'd built some software to basically help provision users. And one of the things I had gotten a patent on was you go to a website you've never been to before, and, you type in your email address and it sends you a passcode to basically authenticate and reset your password. Like, I've got a patent on that. But the coolest thing about that is I had actually gotten the patent. Unfortunately, it came in Korean. So this is before like you could just scan something with Google and have it translated for you. So I probably went for about 5 years not knowing what the patent was for. But needless to say, I finally figured out I was in Korean into what actually was about. So I was really proud of that one. But other cool stuff too. Like I had gotten a patent for, we just got these big new displays at IBM and had this issue where it was a pain in the butt to drag your cursor all the way across the screen and throw icons. So we literally had this patent where you could grab an icon and just throw it across the screen into the trash buckets. So fun stuff like that, stuff that actually makes a difference for users and for our technology as well. So
these are common things that people probably use all the time. They never even thought about the process that it took to actually build it. So that's incredible to hear.
Yeah.
Your team at Aderant, you and your team is essentially at the forefront of building cutting edge technology for law firms. But what's your approach to building technology that suits the needs of the firms? Because I'm pretty sure that's a process in itself.
Oh, definitely. The hardest part sometimes is just understanding what's the problem you're trying to solve. It's not the technology, it's just understanding what are we doing? What are we doing this for? Once we understand that, then we can start thinking hey, what technology can help us out? And as you know, technology is literally changing daily. And, I've been in this area for, almost 30 years now. And I've never seen such rapid acceleration of technology that I have seen over these past 2 or 3 years. It's really incredible.
What's your approach to client feedback? Because I know that feedback can shape the development or the process of the product roadmap. So what's your approach to that?
So it's a couple of different things. I'm a firm believer in data-driven development. So instrument our code, understand how customers are using what we have out today, understand what works, what doesn't work. But I think my biggest thing, and this is something I actually preach to our organization, is we need to have empathy for our customers. We need to ourselves understand what it means to do billing in a legal environment, what it means to do docketing, what it means to, do talent management. Because if our developers don't understand it, we're not going to build great software. So, gone are the days where we just you pick up some tickets and work on it in a vacuum. Now, developers are expected to truly understand what pain points our customers have, and how we build great solutions to help those out.
I spoke to Alok in a past conversation about AI, and he talked about supercharging human capabilities. I know AI is being integrated across the Aderant product suite. Can you take us through what that looks like?
Definitely. And this is a case where, there's some common elements to AI. Like, for example, just asking a question about a product, like how do I do such and such in this product, kind of look up the documentation we have or tech notes we have and provide that. But I think more importantly, when we start having AI to help find the answers to the questions that customers are asking for, that's where we're trying to focus on. And right now we're kind of building it in different pieces. Like there's a new integration with iTimekeep to help build the narratives. There's a new integration with Onyx, and even in Stridyn Analytics, like you can run your queries, run your reports, and find the answer, or you can just ask MADDI, like, hey, what's the answer to this problem I've got today? So for me, that's where we're starting from. But I want to build a more holistic approach to doing AI. So AI can just be easily embedded in everything we do in Aderant, not just these specific use cases.
Taking a deeper dive into AI and all of the great things that your team is doing, MADDI and askMADDI, what's the difference between the two?
I'm trying to figure out whose daughter's name's MADDI, first of all. So, that's my first question. But no, so MADDI is our overall AI platform. So when we talk AI technology, that's MADDI. The way our users interact with it, that is askMADDI. So whether you're in analytics and you click on the button to ask MADDI, or whether you're looking at a specific time card and you click a button to help get some assistance on that, that's askMADDI. Everything that happens under the covers is MADDI itself.
Are legacy systems slowing you down? Meet the firms that broke free. In this exclusive client roundtable, hear firsthand from Aderant clients as they reveal how Expert Sierra transformed their operations, from migration milestones to measurable wins. If you're ready to accelerate your revenue cycle and unify your front and back office, this is your roadmap to a smarter practice. Head to the webinar's on-demand section at aderant.com and watch why firms are hitching their wagon to Expert Sierra today.
Another big topic as it pertains to AI is data. I know that the data that you put in is really kind of like the backbone of the results that you get from these AI solutions. What's your approach to ensuring that the AI solutions that we're building, they're built around data that's proficient and effective?
Yep. So we've actually been building AI in parallel with our new data plane. So these are two fundamental changes that we've made in Aderant. So no longer are we just thinking about data per product, but we're thinking about data holistically. Like, what does data look like across the board, across Expert, across Bill Blast, across VI and Milana? Because it's not just the data for these specific products that's useful, but it's the combination of this data and accessibility to this data. Because now, once you combine that with AI, you're no longer limited to just a single human being able to look at this data one product at a time. You're able to span across all these products and across all these large data sets and, process multitudes of data much, much faster than we've ever had been before.
Speaking to law firms and legal professionals, I necessarily didn't understand at first that software being user-friendly is very important. Sometimes they have software that's been a part of the organization for decades. And when you integrate new software, it's important that new software is able to work with the old software, or that the user experience is just user-friendly. What's your philosophy to ensuring that?
I'm going to take the iPad philosophy. What's funny is because, you hear people talk about how smart their kids are. Because, hey, I've got this toddler that can use an iPad. And, look how awesome he can find music. He can play games. I'm like, that's not your toddler that's smart. That's all the research and design that went into building the iPad and those apps. That's what allows that to happen. So for me, keeping it simple, keeping it consistent, keeping it, I guess, common sense design is what I really focus on, because I believe that, every complex problem can be broken down into a set of simple solutions.
Now, speaking of solutions, VI and Milana are two areas that you work in as well. What's going on in your world in those areas?
Yeah, there's actually a lot of cool stuff going on. From the VI side of things, we just went through quite a bit of updates that really focused on reliability and performance. That was kind of what really was around in what we did in 2024. Now we're taking the idea of VI and along with Stridyn and expanding the scope of VI. So, typically customers that work with VI, they're working within VI. But now we want to make it to say, hey, I'm looking at a bill. Who worked on this bill? How are they evaluated? And, what are their credentials? What type of expertise? Are they experts in HIPAA? If they're not experts in HIPAA, they probably shouldn't be working on this particular case. So that integration of VI and its data across all the other portfolio is something that we're really looking into and building out for the VI. Similar pattern with Milana, again, building out the data. But another big thing with Milana is that we're focused on like how do we build out a robust API infrastructure for that? Because what that's going to facilitate is not only making it easier for our customers to get data in and out of the system, but also makes it easier to integrate with the system. So whether that be the customers integrating with the system or even vendors being able to build much broader solutions on top of Milana, that something that Aderant doesn't provide, but maybe helps out our customers in ways that we've never thought of.
You mentioned it earlier. This is a transformative time. Things are moving fast. Before we close, what are some things or some trends that people should keep an eye out on? And what is Aderant doing to stay ahead of the curve?
The obvious answer is going to be AI. We all live and breathe it every single day. We see it. We see it in the grocery stores. We see it online. When you're creating product support, I'm seeing it when I go through a McDonald's drive-through. Everything is AI, and definitely legal tech is not immune to that either. So what we're doing at Aderant is we're building an AI platform. So really getting ahead of it, making sure that we have a holistic approach to building AI into everything that we do. Because up to this point, we can't do a piecemeal solution with AI, or we can't do a piecemeal solution with data to that point as well. So again, looking at from a big picture perspective, making sure that we're ready and we're enabling all of our possible use cases to support AI, and something that can actually scale within Aderant as well.
Love that. Mike, it's been truly a pleasure talking to you. This may be the first time that I talk to someone on this show that holds a patent. So
nice.
This is a big show for me.
I enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
You got to stop back by in the future.
Will do, certainly.
You're tuned in to Studio A, your insightful podcast for all of the latest trends and legal tech. Be sure to check us out on all major streaming platforms. You've been tuned in to Studio A, powered by Aderant. Thanks for listening to Studio A. For more from this episode, visit Aderant.com. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss a beat, and we'll see you next time in Studio A.